and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Ria Ramble.
I'm Ryan Beachu.
I am Jassi Marik with sport.
And I'm Jamak Ambasad with your weather.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. U.S. radar at the Tobago airport now gone, while the PNM's Ansel Dennis says good riddance. Politicians fall silent on its removal.
Amid calls for the Children's Authority Board to resign, its chairman says members have no plans of stepping down.
Contractors confirm police were investigating murdered businessman Danny Guerra for illegal quarrying.
Coming up in sport.
But we do not have a local coach today who can fill the necessary requirements.
Former TTFA Technical Director Keith Lookloy builds a case for a foreign head coach.
2 yellow level alerts in effect for Trinidad and Tobago. I'll have the details in tonight's weather report.
Despite renewed calls from its line minister, Vandana Mohit, for their resignation, the chairman of the Children's Authority Board says members have no plans to resign.
Marsha Bailey maintains tonight there has been no indication of resignation from her membership. She was responding to the minister's demand, which was initially made during a media conference yesterday. At that briefing, Mohit described the authority's financial situation as deeply troubling, attributing it to alleged prolonged financial mismanagement and a lack of oversight. The Board of Management pushed back strongly against these allegations, saying it is astounded by the minister's public statements and insists it has not been given meaningful opportunities to engage on the authority's affairs. Well, days before notorious businessman Danny Guerra was gunned down, police investigators were looking into his dealings. The Financial Intelligence Bureau requested documents from 4 contractors, Motilal Ramhit and Sons, Skyland Construction, General Earth Movers and VNV Contracting, including bills, delivery notes and even bank records. One contractor admitted buying material from Guerra, though he had no license to mine aggregate. Last October, Guerra, his son Gavin and 16 others were charged with unlawful processing of aggregate after police seized a multi-million-dollar plant and heavy machinery in Guanapo. He was later detained under the state of emergency for an alleged plot to assassinate Defense Minister Wayne Sturge, but released 6 weeks later. And a constitutional case filed by Danny Guerra and his company DG Homes will continue even after his murder last Friday. This morning, the matter came up before Justice Frank C. Prasad, who confirmed that the case could go on. Guerra's lawyer, Harry Paul, told the court that his relatives plan to step in as claimants to ensure the lawsuit doesn't collapse. She explained that just hours before Guerra was shot outside his company's Sangre Grande office, state attorneys had asked for yet another extension to file their defense. Justice C. Prasad agreed the case should proceed and ordered that the formal application for substitution be filed before the next hearing on May 13th. The lawsuit claims that during a police search, Guerra and his company were blocked from accessing their lawyer, Gerald Ramdeen. Back in January last year, Justice C. Prasad had already dismissed an attempt by the state to strike out the case, saying they couldn't seek that relief before first responding to the allegations. Let's tell you what's still to come in the news. 3 murders recorded across Laventille within 24 hours. Despite an SOE in effect, residents fear the bloodshed will continue. Autopsy on 11-year-old Ariana Ramdial reveals the child died from natural causes. Coming up in sport, Defence Force Football Club tastes defeat for the first time in almost 2 years.
Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off. Let me see you rock off. Let me see you kick right. Now step forward, now step back.
Lucozade, bring the energy. Unbeatable taste, new look.
Shake off. Let me see you rock off.
Less than 3 months after U.S. forces moved into Venezuela and detained President Nicolas Maduro, the controversial radar set up in Tobago has now been dismantled. The military-grade system at the ANR Robinson International Airport in Crown Point was removed just 5 days after Chief Secretary Farley Augustine announced U.S. troops would soon depart. PNM Tobago Council leader Ansel Dennis is welcoming the move, saying it proves the public was misled about the radar's true purpose.
The radar that once towered over the ANR Robinson International Airport is gone. CNC3 News checked a vantage point along Kilgren Bay Road Monday morning, where the system used to spin near the new terminal. This time, nothing. Sources say the equipment will soon be flown out aboard a U.S. military cargo plane. While Chief Secretary Farley Augustine is yet to respond to CNC3 News questions on the radar's removal, PNM Tobago Council leader Ansel Dennis said the dismantling of the surveillance equipment, along with the departure of U.S. troops, is a positive sign for Tobago.
If it is leaving now, conveniently after the objectives that the foreign military that occupied here had in Venezuela was accomplished, then obviously the presence of this radar had nothing to do with crime fighting. We've been saying that radar is in fact a military asset, and it was used to advance the agenda of that military power in neighboring Venezuela.
Dennis argues neither Tobago nor Trinidad saw any real benefit from the radar. The radar arrived in Tobago in November last year, with Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar saying then that it was to assist in dealing with the illegal drug trade, particularly out of Venezuela, costing around US $3 million a day to operate. IDA leader Dr. Denise Sawyer-Fat Angus is now asking whether the radar's removal signals an end to the war on drugs.
Because it is clear that after blowing up about 19 boats in the sea and removing one man, even one as prominent as Nicolas Maduro, does not magically shut down a multi-billion-dollar global drug industry. And that is why it confirms, this whole situation confirms that the original explanation given to the population was never the real reason the radar was here.
Former National Security Minister Gary Griffith says Trinidad and Tobago must invest in its own security systems instead of depending on foreign assets.
Radars come and radars go. It is not the end of the world. Trinidad and Tobago cannot rely solely or primarily on a U.S. radar. The U.S. radar has only been there a year. We have been involved in so many different things in national security for the last few decades. We also need to understand that we have our own radar. Trinidad and Tobago had a 360-degree radar for the last 2 decades. What it is that we do not do is utilize it properly.
Just last month, Defense Minister Wayne Sturge defended government's decision to keep the radar in place, saying it will remain there for the foreseeable future as authorities ramp up efforts against drug trafficking and gun smuggling. Sturge explained that while Trinidad and Tobago already operates a radar center, its current systems are limited, making the U.S.-supplied equipment critical to strengthening surveillance. However, former Defense Force Commander Norman Dindial says the radar's removal is no surprise. He told CNC3 News the U.S. is redeploying military assets to the Middle East, where the war with Iran has stretched resources thin. Stefan Nicholas, CNC3 News.
Well, opposition members of the People's National Movement are questioning the removal of the U.S. radar system in Tobago.
The party is raising the issue tonight at a meeting in Phase 5 La Hoqueta. Our reporter Kay Marie Fletcher is there with the latest. Kay Marie?
We are in the constituency of La Hoqueta for one of the People's National Movement's public meeting. Now tonight, opposition leader Penelope Beckles, along with a slate of her opposition MPs and officials, will be discussing a host of different issues here tonight. We are here joined by one of the deputy political leaders, Mr. Shanji Voodoo, and he will also be one of the speakers here tonight discussing a host of things. But immediately, let's speak about that U.S. military grade radar that was placed in Tobago. It's no longer there now. Now, the opposition would have spoken about this for quite a while. It's no longer there. What the opposition has to say about that?
Just as when the radar came, the public did not know why, under what circumstances, Tobago was not consulted. Just as that happened, it's gone. No word, no notice, no explanation. We don't know why. And that is our difficulty with the way that national security is approached in Trinidad and Tobago under this government. No word to the people of this country.
Now, what does the people of Tobago have to say about this? I know you would have had people on the ground right now lobbying in Tobago. What's the word like?
We're in the dark. Tobago is in the dark. We do not know what this means for Tobago. I mean, we expect the troops to leave. When the troops were coming, we didn't know in the first place. So we expect them to leave having achieved what? At what cost? What did they bring to the table? What value did they add to Tobago? What risk existed or what threat existed that caused them to come there in the first place that the people of Trinidad and Tobago still don't know about? And if there was a risk to the people of Trinidad and Tobago that caused them to come there, is it neutralized? Is it gone away? Can we expect a resurgence of a risk? What do we expect? And how are we to trust the government? How the people of this country are to trust this government with our safety and security? If they just keep us in the dark and treat us as though everybody in Trinidad is stupid, we are children, we are not to be told anything. As the Minister of Defense has said, we have no right to know anything and to ask any questions. So, I mean, as usual, the PNM stands ready in defense of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, those who are interested in responsible party politics, those who are interested in responsible governance. Continue to look to the PNM. Look around you. We are intent on delivering a proper, responsible address to the people of La Joqueta, Talparo, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago this
Is the opposition pleased that the radar is no longer there?
We can't say whether we're pleased because we don't know why it's left. We don't know why it came. We don't know why it's left. If it has achieved some mission and the country is told that we are safer for its being there and it now leaving, then maybe we'll be happy. But at this point in time, we don't have to be happy or sad.
What are some other issues very quickly that the PNM will be discussing tonight in La Joqueta?
Well, I imagine the list of speakers are going to speak about the SOE in particular. We're under a state of emergency. We don't know why. There's no justification provided for it, but our rights are suspended as citizens. That's the hot topic right now. And crime continues unabated. Murders in broad daylight. I mean, come on.
Thank you so much. There you have it. The opposition speaks out, rather questioning the disappearance of the radar no longer being there. And tonight they will also be discussing the issue of the state of the emergency that the country is currently under. It's back to you in studio.
All right, thank you so much, K-Marie. Well, in light of that story, today we asked, how do you feel about the radar coming down and U.S. troops possibly leaving?
This is what you had to tell us.
Well, I know there was a lot of controversy surrounding that topic, but for whatever it was in terms of security reasons or whatever, I believe that it would have served its purpose, and if they think that their job is complete, I don't see a challenge with them leaving. I don't see any threat right now to Trinidad and Tobago in terms of needing the radar, but
who was paying this $3 million? What's going on in terms of, the narco-terrorism that they were targeting? Now we're still in a state of, there's so many things unanswered, and I do believe that some transparency is needed. They were saying they're not sharing information because that will affect national security. But now that they're gone, I think a full disclosure is required.
First of all, it was brought in without anyone noticing until a leaked video or so. So I don't really feel any change. Probably people who are on board with the whole war situation might understand the whole protocol better.
I never put any extra thought into what the radar was doing here. But I guess if it served its time, if that's the right word, of what it came to Tobago to do, well then, all the best to new endeavors to the radar.
Three men were murdered in Laventille overnight, and while police continue their investigations, the family of one victim says they have little faith the violence will end anytime soon, even with a state of emergency.
Shane Superville reports.
Police operations across the island continued this weekend, but even with this heightened activity, murders continued, with 3 murders reported within a 24-hour period in Laventille alone. Just after 4 p.m., Romello Edinburgh was gunned down in McShine Lands, where he was conducting renovations on a home. 2 hours later, Shaquille Woods was shot and killed in Josam Hill. At around 9:40 p.m., 35-year-old Michael Moses was gunned down while outside his Despers Crescent home. His mother Gladys Moses told CNC3 News she was inside at the time of her son's murder. She said the loss of her son was particularly painful as one of her daughters, Michelle Moses, was murdered 17 years ago, and another daughter died naturally when she was just a baby.
This is my 3rd child I'm marrying, and I asked God to give me the strength to face it. Wow. It's not easy to marry him, and he used to come downstairs every morning.
Moses said the fact that murders continued even with a state of emergency in effect was not encouraging, that it could save lives.
All them police, all them army, they can't do nothing. You know why they can't do nothing? Because people still dying. 3 last month, and 3 this month. Every day they're killing people.
Meanwhile, Moses' father, Wayne Alexander, says his son's murder is tragic, but had one message to the killers.
Brothers, I forgive all, yeah? So long all the life, I give all the life to Christ, brothers. And stop fighting on one another. We are all black people. We are the same blood.
Deputy Police Commissioner Administration Junior Benjamin responded to the murders, saying such incidents are tragic.
We never feel, proud about that, but nevertheless, again, to those who have suffered loss, we want to really extend our sympathies at this time. But really and truly, as a police service, we continue to look at the bigger picture, that we continue to fight, especially with the Commissioner at the forefront.
Police have not yet identified a motive for the killings. Shane Superville, CNC3 News.
And relatives of murder victim Shaquille Woods say his murder during the state of emergency proves its ineffectiveness.
Outside the Forensic Science Center today, family members identified 26-year-old Shaquille Woods. Police say Woods was gunned down around 6:10 yesterday evening at Upper Map Lands, Morvar. His sister, Terry Ann King, told CNC3 News that Woods is the 3rd sibling in her family to be murdered and claims Woods lost his life over a disagreement. Now, despite their grief, she says they have forgiven his killers and are leaving justice in God's hands.
Whoever killed Shaquille, I hope in my heart God forgive them. That's the most I could say, because vengeance don't belong to me or my family or nothing, because I have small children and I have a sick mother. So I don't want to come out here and say, yes, this and that, you understand? God will deal with it. That's just what I go say. And we already know the authorities doesn't really do nothing, so we're not looking out for that. God will give you justice.
King adds that she has no faith in the criminal justice system and knows the only justice will come from God.
Police are tonight investigating the murder of a 24-year-old Kokorit man who was killed this morning. According to police reports, Omar Abdullah Muhammad was chased and killed by a gunman at Upper Waterhole in Kokorit shortly after 10 a.m. Police reported that Muhammad of Phase 1 powder magazine had been warned not to enter Waterhole Kokorit, but refused to take heed. According to police, Muhammad, after being warned, said no one was going to chase him from his home. After a brief confrontation with his killer, Muhammad was chased and shot at. He collapsed on the road and died. Police say an arrest is imminent. Meanwhile, police detained 54 people during a late-night raid at a house on Marshall Trace, Monroe Road, Cunupia. The operation, led by the counter-trafficking and crime suppression units, targeted suspected prostitution. Officers say many of those held were foreign nationals. Residents claim parts of Cunupia have become a hideout for undocumented migrants involved in illegal activities, including prostitution. Human rights activist Yesenia Gonzalez says investigators must determine if any of the women are victims of human trafficking. She warns some may be held against their will, beaten, raped, or forced to pay captors for freedom.
Tonight, police are on the hunt for a 36-year-old man after a domestic dispute resulted in an arson attack in Penal.
Kathy Guerra says she's now living in fear. She claims last night a close male relative came home drunk and struck her 18-year-old daughter and then beat her. The man reportedly ordered them out of the house before leaving. By this morning, Guerra had gone to seek medical care, but just hours later, around 10:30, the suspect returned. Guerra alleges he set fire to her clothes, the family's home, and even the parlor and vegetable stall she runs out front. Now, the 41-year-old mother says she's not only homeless, but terrified for her life.
Yes, I will need protection, and I will not be safe until he in the police hands, because I know he will be looking for me. I'm not feeling safe because I know it's my life next. Well, I need somewhere to stay right now. I have nothing right now.
Guerra says he was still inside the burning house when firefighters arrived, but ran off before he could be detained.
The cost of the damage is still to be assessed. Penal police are investigating.
Police Commissioner Alistair Guerra says, unlike God, the police cannot be everywhere, but they are working to build stronger relationships to expand their reach and influence.
He made the remark this morning at Queen's Hall during the TTPS's annual Interfaith Service. The ceremony, themed Attitude of Gratitude, was designed to lift morale and encourage officers through praise and worship across all faiths, complete with music and entertainment. Before delivering a reading from the book of Matthew, Guerra reminded officers that their strength lies in connection with communities. Well, as we head to a break, let's check in now with Jean-Marc.
We had partly cloudy and windy conditions today with a few gusts accompanying those isolated showers. We also have 2 alerts in effect for high winds and hazardous seas. I'll have the details coming up just after the break.
Life. What a wonderful journey we're on. Each stage is unique. And at Tata Life, we not only understand, but also appreciate that you'll have different needs at different times. So trust us to protect you and yours with our comprehensive range of financial planning solutions to ensure that you never, ever have to worry. To learn more, contact a Tata Life advisor or visit tatalife.co.tt today. For the many stages of your life, Tata Life, a member of the Ansa McCall Group.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
Eid Mubarak from Passad's The Food King. Joyful savings for every home this Eid on Ibis all-purpose flour, 5 kilograms, $29.99. Central Farm Halal duck, £4.99. Halal bone goat, £3.99. Dutch potatoes, £5, $10. Halal mince beef, £4.95. Chana large grain, 2,000 grams, $39.99. Split peas dal, 400 grams, 3 packs for $9.99. Regal seedless dates, 200 grams, $14.99. Fresh harvest sweetened condensed milk, 390 grams, 3 tins for $25. Nestle Carnation evaporated milk, 250 ml, 2 packs, 15. Shake vermicelli wine, 200 grams, 4 packs, $19.99. Flavorite ice cream, 3.2 liters, 2 tubs, $99. Chubby soft drink, 2 cases, $77. Eid Mubarak from Passad's The Food King. Sale ends 22nd March 2026 or while stocks last.
Quality value, that's our way. The real Burshites, we're here to stay. The Food King Burshites.
Brunswick tuna. Perfect for snacking on a cracker. On its own. Snacking made easy. Snacking made healthy. Snacking made tasty.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured. So call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
PNM Chairman Marvin Gonzalez is alleging that the UNC secured victory in the last general election with financial backing from members of the criminal underworld in exchange for deals. Gonzalez made the claim while pushing back against accusations by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar that the PNM's headquarters was built using drug money. Gonzalez condemned the Prime Minister for using parliamentary privilege to make what he described as unsubstantiated claims against the PNM, calling the remarks scandalous. However, he also made allegations of his own, suggesting that during his tenure as National Security Minister, he received intelligence indicating that criminals had helped finance the UNC's election campaign. He pointed to claims that as much as $17 million was spent in the Sangre Grande constituency during the campaign.
We got information, it's the same thing that happened in some of the marginal seats in Tunapuna and what have you, where there was strategic collaboration between the UNC and the criminal elements to win some of these seats. And that is the reason why this government cannot govern without a state of emergency, because many of them cannot walk their constituencies.
Gonzalez also claimed the PNM was told if they had accepted similar arrangements, the outcome of the election might have been different. The allegations have renewed debate over party financing, with some analysts arguing the controversy highlights the need for stronger campaign finance reform, while others say legal action could still be taken.
These are all issues of misbehavior in public office. And no political party, while they go on yap, they are not doing anything to bring people to account.
The parties are in power. The same parties making the allegations, they are very hesitant to pass these reform measures. So you'd never see this legislation come into the parliament to deal with, transparency in campaign financing. That is one of the things, what rules and regulations should guide the financing, how much they are allowed to take from who should they take from, who should they not.
Meanwhile, political leader of the Patriotic Front, Michaela Pandey, has criticized both the PNM and the UNC, cautioning that claims of this nature should be reported to the police. She condemned both parties for failing to fix the problem, pointing out that her party supports campaign finance reform.
Attorney at law for two men accused of murdering State Prosecutor Dana Sitahal is warning that statements made in Parliament by Defense Minister Wayne Sturge could have implications for ongoing criminal proceedings. Last week, Sturge suggested that authorities failed to act on surveillance intelligence to prevent Sitahal's killing. Kristen J. Williams represents accused Earl Richards and Raja E. Ali, who remain detained at the Tetron barracks as legal proceedings continue in the 2014 murder of the senior counsel. Williams noted that Sturge's statements attract absolute parliamentary privilege, but said the rule against sub judice must also be carefully considered where ongoing matters are concerned.
There is Parliament, absolute Parliament privilege, to which everyone knows about. Then there's rule against sub judice, where if a statement may cause a real or substantial risk to a case, that's a rule that I think the Speaker of the House, Mr. Singh, ought to probably really check to see if that rule was broken with regards to Mr. Sturge's utterances, which, for the record, are truthful.
Williams confirmed Richards and Ali remain retained at Tetron Barracks and raised concerns about the oversight of the facility.
It's now time for the weather report with Jean-Marc, and I just stepped outside briefly today and
almost
I got some
blown away?
Yeah, I was almost blown away by those winds.
Well, I did hint at the possibility of getting these strong winds early this week and by extension the rough seas. So we have two alerts in effect. Let's take a look at some of the details of the alerts. Now, the high wind alert was issued this morning and is in effect for Trinidad and Tobago until midday tomorrow. Now this is due to the peak of a wind surge passing over our area, capable of producing gusts above 55 kilometers per hour, especially near those showers. Now these gusts may be brief but strong enough to displace unsecured roofs, loose outdoor items, and can even topple trees or weak structures. Now impact impacts are expected to be most pronounced over Tobago, with lesser but still notable effects over Trinidad. And this was seen today with the stronger winds over Tobago, getting up to about 57 kilometers per hour. But there were also impacts in Trinidad, where a tree toppled in Tabaquis, blocking one of the roadways. Now, these strong winds are also agitating the seas, with a yellow level hazardous seas alert in effect until midday on Thursday. Large waves and strong rip currents have already been observed along northern and eastern coastlines of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, these rip currents can be life-threatening even for experienced swimmers, and the agitated seas include offshore areas as well. So the seas are rough, with waves in open waters up to 3 meters and around 1 meter in sheltered areas. The winds are expected out of the east-northeast at 15 to 20 knots, gusting to 35 at times. Now, we haven't quite gotten up to that level yet, but our neighbors to the north in Barbados and St. Lucia have been experiencing gusts up to 35 to 40 knots. Now onto the satellite, we had a few brisk showers today, and off to our east there's nothing significant aside from 1 or 2 of these larger patches which will pass over us later on in the week and give us a few showers. So the windy conditions will tend to continue, but the forecast for tonight, we can expect mostly fair conditions despite the low chance of the odd shower favoring eastern areas. Overnight lows of 22 in Trinidad and 23 in Tobago. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and windy conditions to start the day, then some moisture is expected to move over the area, giving Tobago a few showers at first from late morning, then over Trinidad in the afternoon. Remember to look out for the possibility of the stronger winds or gusts near those odd showers as well. Looking ahead, we'll have a relatively dry week with a slightly higher chance of showers on Wednesday. Otherwise, sunny and breezy conditions are expected to dominate the weather for the majority of the week. So it's looking like a sunny, windy few days to come. Not really great for the beach or any outdoor activities due to the hazard of toppling trees as well.
Yeah, and how will that wind affect bushfires?
Bushfires, well, it's going to be dry, it's going to be windy, so it's fire weather.
It's going to spread.
Yes.
Quickly.
All right, well, thank you so much, Jean-Marc. We'll still to come in the news.
Give. Yes, I.
Meet the team stepping up as real-life guardians of the trails, clearing paths and protecting the forest for all who visit.
My man, Andre.
Good night, Anthony.
7 years with the company, and we couldn't do it without Antoine.
Happy birthday, dear Alejandro. Happy birthday to you.
Who's Angelo?
We're like coworkers who don't forget your name.
I'm Angelo.
CG United. Good like that.
Ramadan specials at Food Basket, Arima, Shagwana, Champlain, and Gulf View. Goat, 4 pounds for $99. Chana, 5 pounds for $19.95. Delicious dates, $19.95 per pound. Big deal, 1 gallon oil, $59.95. Crown 8 kg rice, $59.95. Green butterfly evaporated milk, 3 for $17.95. 4Z vermicelli, 1600 gram, $24.95. Ramadan specials at Food Basket, Arima, Shagwana, Champlain, and Gulf View.
Are you preparing your home for Eid this year? Bright Ideas Home Store just launched the biggest Eid sale of the year, and the deals are unbelievable. Towels 4 for $100. Oscar electric kettles from only $75. Irons just $85. Coffee makers from $125. Sandwich makers only $99. Yes, Trinidad, these prices are real, and the savings keep going. Glassware 3 for $22.99. Premium glass set 6 for just $35. Cozy blankets 3 for $100. Hosting family for Eid, Bright Ideas has everything you need. Serveware for the table, beautiful bed sheets, stylish mats and carpets, wall mirrors, food containers, and so much more deals in store. So don't wait. Head to Bright Ideas Home Store today and get your home Eid ready for less. Bright Ideas Home Store. Every home, every season, every day. Bringing happiness home.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, in Deba Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon. soon. Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Panadol's new formula, 5 times faster than other paracetamol brands. There's no time to waste during special moments. When I need fast pain relief, I choose Panadol Rapid. With its new formula and exclusive technology, it's 5 times faster than other paracetamol, giving me effective pain relief. And it's also gentle on my stomach. Because my greatest gift is giving them special moments.
An autopsy on 11-year-old Ariana Ramdial revealed that the Standard 4 student died from complications linked to a severe infection that caused heart failure. The finding brings medical clarity amid confusion surrounding a child whose short life was marked by hardship. A senior police official confirmed the child died of natural causes. Ariana, a student of the Karani Hindu Primary School, died early Thursday morning after days of worsening illness. Her death triggered concern following conflicting claims of bullying, physical abuse, and sexual assault, which was being investigated by the police's Special Victims Unit. Her grieving father, Suresh, said doctors explained that the infection triggered left ventricular failure and spread throughout her body, affecting multiple organs.
On the business front, despite pressure on its traditional rum sales in the local market, Angostura announces increased profits as a result of improved international market performance.
Peter Christopher has more.
Strong international sales and export performances has seen Angostura Holdings report an increase in profit for the financial year ending December 31st, 2025. The company reports a profit after tax of $153.3 million compared to $144.2 million in 2024. Chairman Gary Hunt describes the performance as one underpinned by resilience and discipline, as despite a challenging operating environment marked by increased duties, global tariff adjustments, and evolving consumer trends, the group delivered revenue growth of $55 million over the prior year. Hunt notes growth in international markets continued during this period as revenues from these markets increased by 11% when compared to the prior period, with total export revenue representing 42% of total group revenue as compared to 40% in the previous year. International branded revenue growth represented 79% of the company's total revenue growth, arising from a 1% growth in bitters and a 58% growth in branded rums. Hunt also notes that in the local market, revenue grew by 2% over the previous year, as while traditional rum volumes faced competitive pressures, growth in Angosura's ready-to-drink portfolio partially offset those declines. There is still a persistent gap facing women in the national workforce. This issue was raised by President of the American Chamber of Commerce of Trinidad and Tobago, Anna Henderson, while speaking at Friday's Women Leadership Conference. While acknowledging that women now constitute nearly 50% of the country's labor force, Henderson highlights a stark disparity.
And yet, when we look to senior executive positions, we look at their leadership, boardrooms, and high-growth industries, our numbers significantly narrow. Fewer women occupy top decision-making roles. Women remain underrepresented in the energy sector.
She says if Trinidad and Tobago is serious about economic diversification, policies must expand women's access to capital, digital skills, and leadership opportunities. And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Peter Christopher, CNC3 Business Watch.
All All right, from business news to the business of sport, Jassy Marie joins us now. Jassy's getting really interesting at the top of the Premier Division in cricket.
That's right, and coming your way after the break, highlights from the TTCB's Premier Division 1. QPCC whips former leaders marching Patriots. And back-to-back TNT Golf Open champion Chris Richards Jr. walks us through his gritty Day 3 comeback. Stick around, sport is next.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
At CTS College Private Secondary School, we understand that every student learns differently. This is why we provide them with the freedom to choose their ideal workload. With full-time and part-time classes delivered face-to-face and online, and dedicated teachers to help them reach their academic goals. We also provide regular updates to students and parents. Plus, we have affordable rates and flexible payment terms. Enroll today at CTS College.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time. Or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Welcome back. Former Trinidad and Tobago footballer and administrator Keith Lookloy says there is no one in the local game capable of molding the senior men's national team into a formidable force. The former Trinidad and Tobago Football Association Technical Committee chairman says the search for TNT's next head coach, therefore, must begin abroad.
I could go to Argentina tonight, I could go to Brazil tomorrow and come back with 18 good coaches who would work for $10,000 a month. I guarantee you this.
Following another failed World Cup dream, questions abound about Trinidad and Tobago's football future. With Dwight York's subsequent departure, one of those questions is, who's got next? Former chairman of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association's Technical Committee, Keith Lookloy, says it should not be a local, harkening back to a question of his own put forward mid-campaign.
If we had it in us, or if he had it in him to get the required results, we were still in the midst of qualification, and I left it at that. But by the time we came to the end of qualification, the qualifying campaign, I made it quite clear that it was time for us to get a foreign coach.
The sentiment held by many that York's team had shown improvements was promptly dismissed.
Behind me is Santa Rosa, where we have Santa Rosa Football Club Football School. That is where we groom young coaches and we groom young players. There, depending on the age group, results don't matter. But if we're talking about World Cup qualifying, the only thing that matters is results.
So if not York, then who? And why not a local such as current interim coach and Lookloy's former FC Santa Rosa headman and serial domestic title winner Derek King?
I wish Derek well. I've already done that. I've spoken with him, but we do not need a local coach. This is not to say that a local coach cannot get results. Bertil St. Clair took Trinidad and Tobago to the semi-final of the Gold Cup, but we do not have a local coach today who can fill the necessary requirements. If there were one, I would be the first one to say give the local man a chance. But that person does not exist, with all due respect to the local coaches who slave in the vineyards every day.
Lukloy advanced his reasons for the preference of a foreign coach by stating that historically the program has performed better with non-locals at the helm. And when asked to consider that the TTFA was unable to continue to meet York's remuneration demands, Lukloy said,
"It is not true to say that we cannot get a good foreign coach for less than $30,000 US a month. This is a fallacy. In those countries, there's a surplus of well-educated coaches who have experience in a good level of football in domestic leagues and who are dying for a chance to expand their horizons abroad, to get an opportunity to launch out into international football, because the coaching market in their countries is saturated."
In part 2 of our 3-part sit-down with the former administrator, Lukloy examines the technical infrastructure of the local game.
On related matters, interim head coach of the Trinidad and Tobago senior men's football team, Derek King, is taking Sunday's 3-0 defeat to Bolivia in stride. In his first assignment since taking the reins from Dwight York, King handed debuts to 5 players and counted that and other factors as positive outcomes.
As I told you guys, Bolivia at home will always be difficult. A team that prepared to play a playoff game. The first 20 minutes, as I told them, we have to stay the game. We had to stay the game. And I think, we allowed our score goal, I believe it is in the 22nd minute. But all in all, I think, the guys did well. It's a very young team we brought here.
King said more than the result itself, the exercise offered him a chance to throw the inexperienced players into the deep end of international football against a worthy opponent.
It is a well prepared team, a team that, professional top, playing with decent clubs, especially the Bolivia League. What you saw there is that first time we have guys who came out here and played at the international level. So I think, this was a good game for us to expose the younger players and show them that the demands, physical demands of international football.
Here at home now, Defence Force Football Club's 52-match unbeaten streak in domestic football ended on the weekend, 1 day shy of exactly 2 years. And what previously appeared to be a runaway TTPFL title defence has suddenly become an open race to the finish, as the second-place team in this year's competition also tasted defeat. Carsten Cupid has the highlights and full details from the latest round.
It had been almost 2 years since the Defence Force was last beaten domestically as they took on Police at the Larry Gomes Stadium on Sunday. Police meanwhile looked intent on taking points from the Soldiers. This quality strike from the captain Jabari Mitchell required an equally brilliant save. The Tetron men struggled to connect in the final third with a series of half chances wasted. At the other end, Mitchell with the delivery, but the header was tame at best in a goalless first half. From the restart, a poor clearance opened the door for the officers, and Russell Francois redirected into his own net as Police surged ahead. With more urgency in their play, Defence Force were hunting for the equalizer, but the lawmen were putting their bodies on the line to protect and serve time and time again. Police should have sealed the result late, but this chance was inches away. It didn't matter in the end as they held on to earn the 1-0 win and sully the Army's impressive unbeaten record. In a weekend of strange results, Kevon Woodley's brace guided Rangers past Caledonia. Eagles shocked AC Port of Spain 2-0. Phoenix got all 3 points the easy way against Central FC, and Prisons FC edged second-place Club Sando, while Point Fortin was hammered 5-1 by Jablote. Despite their first defeat in almost 2 years, Defence Force is still first and Club Sando is second. Police improved to 39 points, just 3 behind Sando. Prisons is fourth on 38 as AC Port of Spain stayed on 34. On the opposite end, at Point Fortin, Rangers and Eagles are the bottom dwellers. Carsten Cupid, CNC3 Sport.
On to some cricket news now. Jed Gooley's batting heroics saw Queen's Park Cricket Club take the lead in the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board's Premiership 1 division on Sunday. Gooley started the demolition in a handsome win at the Queen's Park Oval. Here's Jovan Ravello.
The start of QPCC's innings in their match against Marchand Patriots spelled a certain disaster, 28 for 3 in the first hour. However, by the time they lost carry pair off Brendan Boodoo for 15 in the 58th over, Jit Goody had already made the beginning a distant memory. Boodoo's second wicket on the day, that of Mikel Govaya for 4, saw him eventually end with figures of 2 for 29, QPCC 237 for 7. Gooley's effort was key to keeping QPCC in the running. Against the spin of Boodoo and Ricky Jaipal, he picked his moments while steadying the innings. And when he did choose to during his 206-ball stay in the middle, he smacked 17 fours and 3 sixes, pushing the score further out of reach with a masterful second century this season. Jaipal was Marchand's main resistant with the ball. He teased an edge off Terence Hines' bat for his second wicket, QPCC 260 for 8. He almost had another next ball, but the fielding let him down. He'd still end with best figures of 4 for 80. Gooley appeared unbothered and continued stroking the odd delivery to the ropes. A late fireworks show, including this 6 that had our cameraman taking evasive measures, saw QPCC to 324 before running out of wickets. Gooley's unbeaten 165 and 61 from Yannick Carrier, the foundations of the mammoth score. After ending the day on 32 without loss, the Patriots had a tougher time in their 2 attempts to reach the target. Evan Lewis made 41 in the first innings, but Brian Charles took an incredible 7 for 55, with Sunil Narayan's miserly 2 for 60 also compounding Marchand's worries. Following on to the second innings, they only managed 114. Narayan returning to take 6 for 9, as QPCC won by an innings and 73 runs. Presal Sports also won by an innings plus when their 195 proved insurmountable for Prison Sports, who struggled to 80 and 90 all out in their 2 innings. Victoria United's Damian Wakim hit a 110, which proved the catalyst for a 9-wicket win over Maryboys. And Central Sports and KFC Clark Road combined for 824 runs in the weekend's slugfest. However, at the final bell, that match was drawn. Jovan Ravello, CNC3 Sport.
After successfully retaining his Trinidad and Tobago Gulf Open Championship Division title in a dramatic end on Sunday, Chris Richards Jr. is elated. The 21-year-old, who trailed for the majority of the 3-day tournament at the St. Andrews Golf Course in Mocha Maraval, noted that he had to draw on his mental toughness and patience to claw his way to his 4th TNT Open title.
When the course was playing rough, it was really mental to keep your head on, just stay in it, not give up, and fight your way to the top. I mean, Boca is home, so in the back of my head, I just don't rush, be patient, and it will fall into place. Winning that game right now is tremendous because, it just means that I'm keeping my form through my last 2 collegiate tournaments. So right now, it's blessings and goodness right now.
On the regional front, Suriname's bench is bolstered for a crucial World Cup playoff.
Dutch football legends Patrick Kluivert and Clarence Seedorf are lending their expertise to help Suriname chase history through a first-ever appearance at the FIFA World Cup. Suriname faces a crucial Interconfederation playoff against Bolivia in Mexico on March 26. Victory there will set up a clash with Iraq on March 31st, with a coveted World Cup berth on the line. Team General Manager Brian Treverdine says both Kluivert and Seedorf will serve in unofficial advisory roles, offering guidance and acting as ambassadors. Seedorf, born in Suriname before moving to Netherlands as a child, went on to earn 87 caps for the Netherlands national team and reached the World Cup semi-finals in 1998. Kluivert, whose father is Surinamese, scored 40 international goals for the Dutch and remains one of their most prolific strikers. Meanwhile, in athletics, Adija Hodge of the British Virgin Islands is eligible to return to competition after serving a doping suspension. The Athletics Integrity Unit confirmed Hodge began a 2-year ban on August 30th, 2024, after testing positive for 2 prohibited substances. However, 7 months of the sanctions were suspended after investigators determined the ingestion was unintentional, allowing the talented sprinter to return to the track. Caston Cupid, CNC3 Sport.
And now Igor Thiago celebrates a goal in tonight's Sport High.
Breakthrough Brazilian Igor Thiago got a call from Don Carlo and answered with a true centre-forwards finish. Yes, the take makes it, and Igor proves why he's the future of Seleção and runs away with tonight's CNC3 Sport High.
I can report that our cameraman is fine after that near miss at the Oval on Sunday.
That's a big 6.
Yeah, but it's certainly exciting cricket action for the next couple of weeks.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Jassy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Ramadan specials at Food Basket, Arima, Shagwana, Champlain, and Gulf View. Goat, £4 for $99. Chana, £5 for $19.95. Delicious dates, $19.95 per pound. Big deal, 1 gallon oil, $59.95. Crown 8 kg rice, $59.95. Green butterfly evaporated milk, 3 for $17.95. 4Z vermicelli, 1600 gram, $24.95. Ramadan specials at Food Basket, Arima, Shagwana, Champlain, and Gulf View.
Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Drop this.
Biostrat food supplements for vitality and well-being.
You know, Richard.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
Government representatives joined the Caribbean Tour Association at Gulf City Mall in San Fernando for a community iftar and promote respect for the Muslim community.
The traditional breaking of the fast brought together MPs, community leaders, and residents for an evening of reflection and cultural exchange. Traditional foods such as dates, samosas, and pies were served as attendees prayed together. San Fernando West MP Dr. Michael Dowlett spoke of the importance of showing national respect for all faiths.
As I recognize the Deputy Speaker of the House, Dr. Anya Ali, the Member of Parliament for Princestown, by our presence as parliamentarians, we are showing the national community the respect we have for the Muslim faith. And so this evening,
well, Deputy House Speaker Dr. Aina Ali brought early Eid greetings on behalf of the government, reflecting on the spiritual significance of Ramadan. She described it as a sacred period of fasting, prayer, and charitable giving, which encourages patience, humility, and compassion.
Well, Trinidad's forests are said to be guarded by the mythical Papa Bois. But in Las Cuevas, Rincon, one man and his team are proving you don't need legend to protect the land.
Brent Pinero shows us how a real-life forest protector is keeping the trails safe for all who venture into the woods.
Trinidad's forests are said to be home to the legendary Papa Bois, a mythical creature tasked with protecting the woods and everything within them. But if you drive into the Las Cuevas Rincon area, you'll meet a real-life forest protector.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Conservationist and Rincon resident Robert Charles, along with his family and team members from his NGO Connectivity, have been maintaining the trails that lead to Blackpool and Rincon Waterfall. With the help of borrowed tools, donations in kind, and money from their own pockets, they clear away brush and branches. But the real challenge lies in removing long fallen trees. See, when a trunk blocks the path, it's all hands and sometimes feet on deck.
Keep him! Yes, sir. Yeah.
Charles has been cleaning trails for 17 years around the country, and this latest trail cleanup took over 2 weeks. He says the motivation came after Jessica Jordan tragically drowned while hiking near to the Madamas River. But the mission goes beyond the chainsaws. Bins have been strategically placed along the trail to encourage hikers to keep the forest litter free.
We have like rubbish in the area where we actually provide a bin, yeah. But we don't have gloves, and we actually get what bags we can in terms of actually getting the job done and keep it going. Okay. So in terms of when people come to recreate, this stuff does normally be at Blackpool. Okay. And since we installed this bin here, we find that all the rubbish is in this area alone.
Charles hopes to raise enough money to make a muster point, a first aid bay, and also install trail signs.
signs that when people come to the area, they will be able to go and come back in terms of not getting lost up in that mountain. If it is you're coming for an experience, it must be a good experience. You go, see the sights here, go back and where you come from, and in a safe way.
His mission proves you don't need magic to protect the forest. Just a little heart and a lot of hard work. Brent Panera, CNC3 News.
That is a stunning view.
I really like that they're cleaning up the trails, but most importantly, the garbage should not be there in the first place, correct?
That's right.
Yeah. I want to agree with that. I think that as responsible citizens, if you're going on a hike, especially something like a hike, we really ought to be taking paper bags with us too.
Exactly.
Yeah, so good work. Papa Boa would be very proud. Right, that's how we end the 7 p.m. news here on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Ramble.
I'm Ryan Bechu.
I am Jassi Marie.
And I'm Jamal Krampasad. Have a good night.
You're watching CNC3.